Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, my favorite Luigi's Mansion game, is a famous quote by me and me alone. It seems nobody wants to give this game the time of day. It's always GameCube this or Nintendo Switch that. Well, what about this old thing? Dark Moon may not have the looks of Luigi's Mansion 3 or the atmosphere of the first game, but I'm sure it has something. Now, I've talked about Dark Moon in the past, but I wasn't always able to shed my biases. So yeah, Dark Moon has the best puzzles. Now for the next category. Which game has the darkest moon? But today I really want to go in on this topic. I want to explore every cobwebbed corner, every unshaken cabinet that this game has to offer, and understand why people dislike it so much. Now, I won't give you any major spoilers on the game in case you plan on playing it on the Switch when it releases, but I'll give you a rundown of the beginning of the game and the direction things go from there. Then maybe we'll know for sure, is Dark Moon really a worse game than the others? Probably, but let's find out. We start things off in Professor Egad's lab, where his team of enslaved ghosts is helping him with his research. But they seem pretty happy to be doing all of this uncompensated labor. Well, that is until Abraham Boo over here comes along and emancipates them. So instead of coughing up some money and hiring actual assistants, he asks Luigi for help. And by that, I mean he rips Luigi through his TV while he was trying to sleep. There's also this cool reference to the first game, but Egad explains to you that the reason the ghosts are freaking out now is because King Boo broke the Dark Moon, which kept all of the ghosts friendly. So Egad is now forcing you, Luigi, to fix everything because he needs to keep researching ghosts and using them as lab assistants. But until you get everything back in order for him, he's just gonna chill here and drink fish water. Don't worry, he'll keep an eye on you using the many security cameras installed throughout the mansion. That is, when he isn't busy with something else, like watching his moral compass. Yeah, that seems right. But Egad means well. That's why he wants to arm you with his new invention, the Poltergust 5000, which he did leave in the mansion, so here's a flashlight and a DS. Good luck. After a little deconstructing, your pieces are moved to the first mansion, the Gloomy Manor, where they are then reassembled into, hopefully, Luigi. As you breach the gates on this ominous structure, a terrifying sound breaks the silence. Every now and then, Egad will hit you up on the DS and start talking about what you're doing, or what you did, or what you're about to do. And by every now and then, I mean literally every single now and every single then. Here in this first call, he starts talking about how he lowered the brightness on the DS to save battery. And then he literally teaches Luigi how to run. How do you do that over a voice call? Well, after that miracle, you try and enter the building, but it's locked. After a little walking around, Luigi wipes off this jagged broken window and peers inside. And here we are introduced to the basic ghost, the Greenie. Why they are called this, I am not sure. Perhaps it is due to their quick, agile movements. Well, I'll leave the ghost researching to Egad. I'm just here to find that poltergust and start sucking up specters. After stealing the key from an evil rat, you unlock the door and take your first steps into the Gloomy Manor. And just like old times, Luigi's instinct kicks in, and the ransacking begins. Now, the searching has been altered a bit from the original game. Instead of pressing a button to interact with whatever's in front of you, a prompt will pop up when near interactable items. This is a little lame since it takes away some of the freedom that the first game had, but most treasure isn't hidden in a dresser or something. It'll be something you've got to interact with using one of your gadgets. The first of which we grab in the garage, the Poltergust 5000. This works a little differently than it did in the first game, although it doesn't have all the fancy tricks that the third game introduces. Instead of just sucking up ghosts, you have a charge bar that fills as you're dragged around, which can be used to take a bunch of the ghost's health. With this new piece of supercharged cleaning equipment, Luigi is able to face more foes and reach far more money that's not his. But oh well, it is now, and he's gonna put it to good use. Unlike the first game where money did nothing but act as a score counter, or the third game where money is just for a few basic items, this game uses money as a means of upgrading your gadgets. We'll talk more about that later, but just know, you're gonna want to do some serious pillaging in this game. They've also introduced gems, which is a set of hidden collectible items in each level. Anyways, after sucking down dollars like college debt, Luigi finds the key to the hallway, where he faces his first real danger, knights that slash you with a sword and send you slamming into the wall. But don't worry, there's money. It may not heal him, but I'm sure it takes away the pain. After running past those guys, you make it to the foyer, where those pesky greenies from before are giving us some trouble by hiding this bulb we need on the chandelier. But before you can even make it to the stairs, guess who? Hey Luigi, those are called stairs. Let me tell you all about stairs. And by the way, can I just say this place is way cooler looking than the original Luigi's Mansion foyer. This one is so much more spacious. Plus it has a fish tank with these hilarious fish. But that's beside the point. We've got to get that bulb that those greenies put on the chandelier. That's Luigi's next gadget. The bulb, not the chandelier. But could you imagine? After doing another puzzle, which is the same puzzle that you just did in another room, you lower the chandelier and pick it up as your new gadget. No, I wish. Instead, you grab the strobe bulb and attach it to the flashlight. The strobe bulb is what you use to stun ghosts so that you can suck them up. It's like using your flashlight in the first game, but now you've got to charge it up and catch them in the flash. It can also evaporate rodents into currency. This flash stun system hasn't affected the combat too much, but it does sort of make the stunning feel a bit more consistent and satisfying. Now, the possibilities are endless. After all of that, you head back to the lab and check in with EGAD, where he steals your ghosts and your money. And that's pretty much the mission structure. Head into the mansion to get something or investigate something, and then report back to EGAD. Over the next couple of missions, you discover the other basic ghost types. These red guys here are called slammers, due to their red hue, and these blue guys are called sneakers. I don't gotta explain why they're called that, the resemblance is obvious. You also get your final gadget, the dark light device. See, the boos are going around the mansion turning things invisible, but using the dark light, you can bring those invisible things back. Armed with these 3 gadgets, you've got to make your way through this mansion and defeat the boss lurking within. Oh, and EGAD also has you clean up spiderwebs for a whole mission, which is cool. But once you clear the gloomy manor, you've only just begun. There are 4 more mansions to discover, each with their own themes. These will introduce you to all kinds of new enemies, mechanics, and music. And man, this game's soundtrack is great. As you collect money, you'll be upgrading your dark light to have more duration, as well as the poltergust, which lets you charge the bar higher. And on top of your mansion exploring, you've got a few other things to play around with in the lab. You can go down to the vault and check out the ghosts, boos, gems, and upgrades you've collected. And if you do collect every boo in a mansion, you unlock a bonus level, which is pretty cool. From EGAD's lab, you can also do something called Scare Scraper. This is pretty much the same as Luigi's Mansion 3's Scare Scraper, an online game mode where you fight together against the timer floor by floor to the top of the tower where you fight a boss. It's not much, but it's a little something to do if you're stuck on a mission or something. This mission to mission, mansion to mansion system offers a clean form of progression that you'll either love or hate. Some people feel that it's too far removed from the original, slow, single mansion exploration that the first game offered. But if you'd like more Luigi's Mansion gameplay in some awesome environments, this game will be at very least tolerable for those who don't take well to the mission system. It's still got the same core gameplay components, it's just laid out in a way that better suits a handheld system. Each Luigi's Mansion game does something brilliant that the others don't. That's what makes it so hard to say one is better or worse. I think what Dark Moon does best is keep you engaged and having fun throughout the course of a mission, stringing you along from one mansion to the next. This game has a certain punchy, arcadey feel to the combat and puzzles that I don't think the other games really have. But I think the reason people dismiss Dark Moon is because it's missing that simple, spooky mansion exploration that the first and third game do so well. But if you just give it a chance, I think any Luigi's Mansion fan would totally love it. Or not, you could try it and it's just not your thing. But I'd really encourage people to keep it on the radar, whether they pick it up on the Switch when that finally releases, or just get an old cheap used 3DS copy. It's one of my favorite 3DS games of all time, and it might just be my favorite Luigi's Mansion game. But I don't know, there's some tough competition. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you later. Thanks.